I have headphones in, and I'm not listening to anything, but I feel like at this point it's too late. So anyway, they're in. What's up? Everyone's asking me about it. Everyone everywhere. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are asking me, hey Wolfie, where's your APA draft number 2? And at long last, here's your answer. It's right here. You're watching it. You probably already knew that because you're on the video. You know what I'm saying. This is a stupid thing to even say. Let's just figure it out because I'm in a rush. So, draft number 2. So for those of you who don't work, the way the APA is working this year, which stands for American Pokemon Association, I figured it out. The way the draft works is there's 12 weeks, 12-week season, and it's interesting because first 4 weeks you use one team, second 4 weeks you redraft, pick another team, and then last 4 weeks you redraft again, you use your third team. So it's really interesting, really cool, really fun. A lot of people feel that drafting is the most fun part of playing in draft leagues. I think drafting is fun. I think playing is fun as well. But yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoy building teams, right? And building teams under constraints. That's something that I think is really interesting and really fun, and something that I enjoy about draft leagues. So we finished the first 4 weeks. We finished 3-1. I believe we are. Let's say we were second, which is not bad. Definitely not bad. Really happy with that. Yeah. I don't need to ramble because I'm in a rush. So, team. Okay, first pick. Oh, I was okay. So the 16 people picking, and I was number 16. So that means that like every time I picked 2 in a row. So like I'm gonna go in the order that I decided on picking them on, if I remember, and otherwise, yeah, it'll like not whatever technical order I picked in because I was picking 2 at once. So my first pick. Drum roll, blah blah, whatever. Okay, so my first pick, I got to my turn. I was like, who do I want? Oh, and the other thing is, you can use in playoffs anything that you use during the regular season, as long as you still like fit the requirements of a team. So you can't have like all tier 1 Pokemon, but you can have like 2 tier 1 Pokemon if you pick that way, or you can use any of your tier 1 Pokemon. So there's not a final redraft. There's just you get to pick out of the Pokemon that you already have, that you've already drafted, which ones you want to use. So first pick, most important pick, of course. I needed to make sure that so it got to my turn, and I realized, like, there's a chance that, like, I can't let this Pokemon that I really want go to the final draft, right? I need to pick it now, because otherwise, I might not get to use it in playoffs, and it's the most important Pokemon ever. So, of course, my first pick is Tornadus T. One of my favorite, definitely my favorite draft league mon to use. I love Tornadus T. I think it's an amazing Pokemon. It gets Defog. It's really fast. Regenerator is an amazing ability. Fast U-turn, fast knockoff, lots of good items, especially Focus Sash. That's my favorite item. Assault Vest. It can be offensive with the Z Flying Hurricane. This isn't a league limited by Z moves. It actually has pretty good coverage. Icy Wind, Heat Wave, Superpower, can be mixed, can be physical. I've run Bulk Upset before with 50% Berry and Acrobatics, and Superpower. Taunt is really good, and Defog is really good. Those are the 2 big supportive options. So I like for all my Pokemon, especially the early picks, to have some kind of hazard-related thing that they can do. Tornadus being a fast Pokemon that can Defog and can recover without, like, just by switching out. In addition to its its really big base speed. In addition to its high base speed, it's a great Pokemon. I think it's really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It's one of my favorites. Next pick. I drafted Mega Altaria for my Mega draft one, and I was really underwhelmed. So I knew I wanted a different Mega. I don't have a ton of experience using most of these Megas in singles. I really only have experience with Tyranitar and like Absol, who's really bad, and Swampert, but I wasn't drafting a rain team. So I decided to pick up another Pokemon. Oh yeah, by the way, this draft is like full of Pokemon that I feel are like that are special to me for some one reason or another. I think so. This is an 11 Pokemon draft. I've used 5 of them in tournament, and like six if you count an evolution, and then I might have even used this one. I don't remember. Yeah, 2 of them are like associated with me anyway, even though I haven't brought them to VGC tournaments. And yeah, because there's like 3 that are just like random. But I mean, 8 out of 11 mons are I think pretty strongly associated with me for one reason or another. So that's really cool. Anyway, we drafted Charizard X as our next pick. Charizard X, very good Pokemon. I think it's really, really cool. I don't like the 4 times weakness to rock, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted to pair with Tornadus T, but I figured Charizard X was just such a good pick that it might come in handy in the final draft. It does lose, like, even though Charizard shares a flying typing with Tornadus, which I don't normally love repeat typings if I can help it, I figured it wasn't that big of a deal because Charizard X is really Dragon type when it Mega Evolves. Really strong Pokemon, really big sweeping potential, but can also, like, Charizard X has deceptively strong bulk, especially on the physical side, especially if you run Will-O-Wisp, so it has a lot of cool options. It gets Belly Drum, which is not that good, Swords Dance not that good, Dragon Dance very good, good coverage options. It gets Thunder Punch, it gets Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw, Brick Break, Earthquake, like lots of really strong physical moves, and just like the Tough Claws boost plus high base attack plus strong stab options gives it, I think, a really, really strong niche. And I don't even feel like it necessarily needs Dragon Dance to sweep, and it also has recovery in the form of Roots. So Charizard X like threatens out a lot of Pokemon, and so it can use that opportunity to set up or just like attack, or Recover Up. I think it's a really strong, versatile mon. I've never used it in singles, but obviously, I mean, I've brought it to Worlds twice and won a regional with it, so I do like it as a Pokemon. It's got a good speed tier as well. Our first 2 picks are really good speed tiers. So, yeah, Charizard X, solid pick in my opinion. Hopefully it does well. Like, it's a little weird in singles because, like, in VGC, you effectively start Mega Evolved, right? You normally don't switch in. Like, you can always Mega Evolve Protect, right, in VGC. And, like, when I was using Charizard X, if I was going to bring him to the game, I almost always led him. So, even in the worst case, like, I could Mega Evolve Will-O-Wisp, I could Mega Evolve Flare Blitz, I could always Mega Evolve Protect and just get that out of the way, right? In singles, it's, like, a little trickier, because if you're threatened by, like, a Rock or a Ground type, and also you have to Mega Evolve in this league, and if you're threatened out by something, like, you can't Mega Evolve Protect and then switch out. So, it's harder. That's, like, one thing I'm worried about with Charizard, especially because, like, he needs to Mega Evolve as soon as possible because you don't want to be dealing rocks, like, with Stealth Rock and also, like, because of the bulk increase, so... Yeah, I don't know. A little worried about that, but I think it'll be interesting, and I mean, he's really threatening, at least offensively, if nothing else. So, that's that. Next pick. Bop. Excadrill. Excadrill, not a Pokemon that I associate with myself. I don't know why that sounded so weird. Excadrill is not a Pokemon I have a lot of experience using. In VGC, it was pretty good in 2013. In 2012, it had, like, some usage as well. I don't really remember, but I think it definitely had, like, a role. I don't remember being used that much. I may have been used in Japanese sand teams in 2015. Don't remember. Maybe it was used in Japanese sand teams in 2015. Don't remember. Excadrill. So what does it get? It gets Stealth Rocks, which is good. It's not normally going to be setting Stealth Rocks because it's more of an offensive Pokemon. It gets Rapid Spin, which is an amazing utilitarian tool of the tool. It's got really strong. Those are good supportive options, but really, it's got Mold Breaker, which is really a powerful tool because a lot of Pokemon. Excadrill has a huge base attack set of, I don't know, 145 or something? Don't remember. Higher than 145. I don't know. It's got really high base attack. I think it's 205 attack. But it's really strong, and Ground and Steel is good offensive typing, and it has 2 pretty good abilities. Sand Rush, which doubles its speed in sand, making it outspeed everything, and Mold Breaker, meaning you can hit Pokemon with Levitate with ground moves, which is actually a pretty big deal, because there's a lot of Pokemon like Rotom, for example, which really, like, most Rotom forms will wall Excadrill, but none of it is Mold Breaker, right? And it limits your switch-ins to ground type, to Earthquake. It limits Earthquake switch-ins to grass types and flying types. And as Excadrill can run Rock Slide, and as this is a draft league, so not everyone's guaranteed to have, like, a good grass or flying type. Especially given that if you set Stealth Rock up at some point in the game, like, flying types really don't want to switch in because they'll be taking, even if they switch in an Excadrill, they're still taking at least, most of the time they'll take 25% at least, if not 50. Obviously some resist, like Landorus, but, yeah, Excadrill gets Swords Dance. It, has a lot of cool options it can do. I mean, I don't think it's a super versatile mon, but it's, I almost said versatile. But it's still, I don't know, I think it's still really threatening. It's just a solid offensive pick, right? Like, it's got good typing, it deals with fairy types, it's, like, also Charizard and Tornadus were both Pokemon that threaten out grass types, which is, like, a big threat. Probably the bigger threat, in my opinion, than flying types, because you can run Rock Slide next year as well. You have Iron Head, but grass types are normally a bit more problematic, so having, good supporting options, it's weak to ground, it's weak to water, it's weak to flying, or ground, water, and fighting. Ground and fighting are resisted by Tornadus, so synergy is not terrible there. Yeah, I think overall it's a solid pick, and I'm excited to use it, even though I haven't used it a bunch. Next pick. Boop! Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn, Grass Steel, really, like, my team was feeling pretty offensive. I had good speed tiers, Tornadus is very fast, Charizard is decently fast, Excadrill can be fast, the Choice Scarf can be very fast in sand. So, yeah, my next pick I was like, I don't really have much that can consistently set hazards on this team, right? I have Excadrill as Stealth Rocker, but, like, it's not great. And I do normally try to get Stealth Rock, Spikes, Toxic Spikes, and Sticky Webs on all my teams for Draft League. If I can, it's not always possible. I didn't do it in this one. Spoilers, but Ferrothorn gets both Stealth Rock and Spikes. It's just, like, a really bulky mon. And I feel like, even though it's doubling up on Steel type, and it doesn't really add that many resistances at the moment, adds Fire and Fighting, which also it shares with Excadrill. It's just such a bulky mon and has really good defensive typing that I feel like it can really be the glue to come. I don't know. Like, I just like the way that Tornadus looks next to Ferrothorn because, like, you can take passive, you can deal passive damage with Iron Barbs. Is that what it's called? Iron Barbs. You have Leech Seed for recovery. You have Leftovers. It's a Pokemon that can actually afford to run Protect. You can have Stealth Rock. You have Hazards. And it actually hits pretty hard. You could run Choice Band. I don't feel like most times I will be running Choice Band, but it's so slow that Gyro Ball often will end up being 150 base power, which is nothing to sneeze at. And Power Whip is like a really, it's 130 base power move. How strong is Power Whip? It's really strong for some reason. Yeah, so just like, it's just like, I needed something that could set hazards, right? Because at the moment my team is pretty weak on the hazard setting front. Like I've got Excadrill as my only other setter. So, yeah, I also, like, Ferrothorn doesn't have that many weaknesses. I'm a little worried about, like, fighting, of course, but with Tornadus, I think it can be okay. And we have more Pokemon to patch up that weakness. So we kind of got a lot of, like, burst offense out of the way at the beginning. Ferrothorn just, like, it's like I'm starting to build up the bulk and the defenses of my team because, yeah, in order for Tornadus especially to be used effectively, you need to be able to pivot out, and that means you have to be able to pivot out into something, right? And so Ferrothorn is a Pokemon that can switch into a lot of Pokemon, and like the threat of Leech Seed, the threat of hazards, the threat of you can run Toxic on it, you know, it forces your opponent's hand if they're not in the right position to deal with it, because it's not a Pokemon that you can just like, oftentimes you can't just, so if you're out of position versus Excadrill and it can't OHKO you can normally like sacrifice a Pokemon and then like at least take a trade, right? Like you can say, okay, like I'll take 80% from Earthquake, but I can do 60% back, you know, even if you're not in a good position because Excadrill is so frail. But Ferrothorn, if you can't do anything to it, you're not normally going to be able to do anything to it, and it can heal up with Leech Seed and it can set hazards, so it really forces a reaction in a defensive way, and I really like that about it. I don't like the 4 times weakness, but like, you know, you can't win them all, you can't win any of them. Next pick, unconventional, but I'm really excited to use it. Milotic. So Milotic is a Pokemon, as you can see, I've started building my Charlotte team here, my Charlotte Regional Charizard X team here, and yeah, Milotic is a Pokemon that I love it in VGC. I'm kind of mad at it after Worlds because it really let me down, but I am excited to try it in singles here for a number of reasons. Number one is singles players, and it confused me for the longest time, they all run Flame Orb, Marvel Scale Milotic, and after playing some singles, I do see kind of the use a little bit, like I get it a little bit, it makes more sense to me, but I've never seen one run competitive, and in a metagame filled with with a defog, I don't know, man, I just feel like it's really, really undervalued. I do think it's a tier 2 mon, I don't think it's a tier 1 mon, but I was excited to try it. Really good special bulk, it gets access to Recover, Scald, its movable actually isn't that great, but the abilities are, right? It gets Marvel Scale, you can Flame Orb, meaning you can't be poisoned, you can't be paralyzed or put to sleep, or frozen, obviously, and you can't be badly poisoned either. Yeah, so Flame Orb lets you double your physical defense, just have insane like bulk overall. It can haze and has, I meant to say phase and has haze, but it can haze and has phase, sure, why not? Just a solid bulky mon, and I felt like my team was kind of offensive and I didn't have that many resistances, so having I wanted another bulky mon that didn't share weaknesses to the rest of my team. So Milotic's only weaknesses are Electric and Grass. Charizard X resists both of those, Ferrothorn resists both of those, Tornadus resists Grass, Excadrill is immune to Electric. So it was like a solid, I felt like a bulky water was really needed on my team. And although I still don't feel great in the hazards front, I now feel good on the, if I set hazards up, it's going to be harder for my opponent to remove them if I want to bring competitive Milotic. So if there are weeks where I really need hazards to stay on the field, I can force my opponents into situations where like they can remove hazards, but they're going to give my Milotic a boost, you know? And that's not even talking about the tricks I can do with Intimidate, right? If I can read a Landorus or Crocodile or Salamence switch in, bring in Milotic first. I mean, I think people are aware that I've done that. Next Pokemon. How are we doing on time? Oh my god, I was talking for so long. I'm trying to be brief. Alright, we're 5 out of 11 done. And the last 2 aren't going to take that long. The last 3 aren't going to take that long. Next pick we have, we have Uxie. We have Uxie. I don't have that much for like strong fighting types, if you hadn't noticed. I also I don't really have that much that can switch into psychic types of coverage. Like Mega Alakazam, for example, if it runs Hidden Power Fire, just decimates it kills everything, right? It's too strong. So I wanted a bulky psychic type, and I wanted one. Actually, to be honest, I think I was looking at the tiers at this point, and I was looking at tier 3, and there was like nothing I wanted. Like Uxie was the only thing I was like, okay, like I have to pick 2 tier 3 Pokemon, so like I guess I'll take Uxie. But like I didn't see anything I wanted, so I grabbed Uxie. It's a cool mon. It gets Imprison, it gets Yawn, it gets Stealth Rock is a big one, so it's a bulky Pokemon in tier 3 with Stealth Rock. It can Calm Mind. I actually don't know that much about it. It's bulky. It's a Pokemon that I wanted to use primarily because whenever I'd play against it, I found it difficult to deal with. So I feel like that's normally good. That's like a good sign for me. That's a Pokemon that I want to use. So I took Uxie. It gives me a third Stealth Rock user. We're not really counting Excadrill though, so it's like a third Pokemon that can reliably set Stealth Rock if I bring it, I think. Got some cool stuff it can do. I'm sure it gets Trick, but I don't really have that much to say about it. But I do feel like it's useful as like I went really hard with the offensive mons with Charizard X and Excadrill, and even Tornadus to a certain extent isn't like super bulky. So I wanted to shore up on my defenses after this. Doesn't have a good form of recovery, but it has some cool stuff it can do, and yeah, I'm excited to use it. Okay, next 2 Pokemon. So I normally pick tier 1, tier 1 Mega, and then tier 1, tier 2, and then tier 2, tier 3. That's what had happened so far. Now it was my turn again, and I was looking at tier 3, and I was like, I don't see anything else I want in tier 3. Like, I was kind of eyeing Crobat, but I already had 2 to 3 flying types, depending on how you count Charizard X, and, yeah, I was like, do I really want Crobat? And then it was taken anyway. And actually, I did kind of want Crobat, but I didn't get it. So, whatever, it's fine. I don't care. Anyway, so I was like, I don't see anything else. I was looking at tier 3. I was like, there's nothing else I want. But there were some tier 4 mons that I really wanted. So, I knew I was going to take Hitmontop. Hitmontop is something that I've been wanting to use in Draft League for, like, forever. And it keeps being taken from me. I keep being like, no one's going to take Hitmontop. They're not VGC players. But then they take Hitmontop, and I'm like, that's so annoying. I wish I'd taken Hitmontop. So, yeah, so I took Hitmontop. First pick, obviously. I really wanted it. I've been wanting to use it for a while. I just want Intimidate on my teams. That's really it. I just want Intimidate, and it gets Rapid Spin, which is nice. My team obviously isn't super hazard heavy, but thinking. It's not super hazard heavy, but it's still nice to not have to defog, because also the other thing is, as I mentioned earlier, if you can get rid of hazard on your side, but you can keep them up on your opponent's side, that's more pressure for them to defog. For those of you who don't know, Rapid Spin is not super common in VGC, in singles. Wow. It's not super common in VGC at all, but it's really not, there's not that many good users in singles from my experience, and I have two of the good ones on my team, in my opinion. So, yeah, I really just wanted to physically bulky Intimidate Mon. Hitmontop's cool. It's mostly going to be reactionary. It's going to have Rapid Spin, it can have Toxic, it could run Assault Vest, it's got good priority moves. It does get Technician, as well. I don't really anticipate using Technician for the most part, but there are probably some teams which are, like, if there's a Frail team where I can just, like, blow through with, like, Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, Sucker Punch, that's definitely an option. I don't really expect it to be super good, but it is something to keep in mind if there's like a niche thing. Actually, I'm looking at there's a team. There's actually a team that I'm looking at that looks really weak to Hitmontop's priority set, so we'll keep it in mind. But most of the time, it's just gonna be heroes like switch into stuff, having Intimidate, removing hazards, maybe spreading Toxic. You can do like Fitinium Z with it. Like, you can definitely hit hard with it as well. But I anticipate this mostly being a bulky pivot and just like an Intimidate Pokemon for, I don't know if anyone drafted Mega Gyarados, but like something like Mega Gyarados, it's nice to switch in and like just have an Intimidate Pokemon and know that, like, I don't know, you can at least like slow them down a little bit with Hitmontop, but yeah, I don't really know why I want to use Hitmontop. I just wanted it. That's all I have to say. Next Pokemon, one of my this is like probably the original Pokemon that was associated with me when I first joined VGC, and it is Cofagrigus. The Mummy Pokemon. I love this Pokemon. I think it's so cool. I won regionals with it my first year. I won nationals with it my first year. I got 6th at Worlds with it. I brought it like every game I played that year in VGC. It's just such a cool Pokemon. Mummy is one of the coolest abilities in my opinion. I really enjoy it. I just think it's such a cool mechanic. I love that, like, something like Mega Pinsir. I don't think anybody took Mega Pinsir. I'm gonna find out. Give me a second. Mega Beedrill. I think so. Like, let's look at the Megas. Mega Beedrill. Okay. Mega Alakazam can't do anything again. Mega Beedrill can. No. Mega Gardevoir, no. Mega Lopunny, yes. Mega Lopunny, very yes. Mega Medicham, yes. Mega Scizor, yes. Mega Pidgeot, no. Mega Manectric, no. Mega Altaria, depends. Mega Tyranitar, no. Mega Diancie, no. Mega Gallade, no. Mega Aerodactyl, maybe. Okay, but there are certain things that just, like, if you switch into it with Cofagrigus and that loses its ability, it's just, like, totally nerfed. Like, most, like, Mega Salamence, even though that's not allowed, I'm sure. A physical Mega Salamence. Like, most physical Pokemon that rely on their ability, Mega Mawile, Mega Medicham, they lose their ability upon touching Cofagrigus with the contact move. So, I don't know. I think it's such a cool Pokemon. And the thing is, Cofagrigus, which I didn't actually know originally, it gets Toxic Spikes. So I was looking at my team, I had Stealth Rock and Spiked in Ferrothorn, I had Spikes in Uxie, I had Stealth Rock and Uxie, I had Stealth Rock and Excadrill, meh. I kind of given up on getting Sticky Webs this draft. Because the turn that I took Milotic, I was thinking about taking Araquanid, but Milotic just fit better, and I wasn't going to have 2 bulky water types. I'd already taken Slurpuff in an earlier draft. I obviously didn't want the overlap, so I kind of like accepted that I wasn't getting Sticky Webs this draft, and I thought it was okay because my team is pretty fast overall. And like, I had Sticky Webs draft 1, and I never brought them, so like, they're not that good in my opinion. Like, they're really good situationally. But anyway, I did want Toxic Spikes because if a team is weak to Toxic Spikes and you can set it up, it's just really threatening. It can do a lot. It can be really annoying, and it's like if you have a bulky team with, if I have like Tornadus, Milotic, Ferrothorn, and my opponent's taking poison damage on all their Pokemon, it's pretty easy to wear stuff down. Especially with like my team is designed to beat people already without having to deal with like poison damage on a lot of their Mons. So if you can just like set Toxic Spikes and put that pressure on, then I think it can be really threatening. So anyway, that was my main reason for taking Cofagrigus. It was a tier 4 Pokemon that I love. That gets Toxic Spikes, and like, I don't know, maybe I could have taken Excalibur, but this guy's bulky, and it gets Will-O-Wisp, it has a great ability, it gets Pain Split, which is like not a great form of recovery, but it's okay. It could set Trick Room, it could be Calm Mind. Not a super diverse move pool, but it gets some cool stuff. It gets Ally Switch, I think. I guess it's not that surprising. There's some weird move it gets. Oh, it gets Crafty Shield. That's so cool. I had no idea. Like, as of United Sun, United Moon, it gets Crafty Shield. So, I think it's a cool Pokemon. I like it a lot. That's all I gotta say. Next pick. This one was just questionable. I wanted Salazzle, but Envy was like, don't take Salazzle, I want Salazzle. And like, I don't have Poison type in my team. And like, I think it's okay because Charizard X can't be poisoned the first time it switches in. I have Tornadus who can't be poisoned. I have Excadrill and Ferrothorn who can't be poisoned. Uxia's Levitate, did not know that. It can't be poisoned. So of my first 6 picks, the only one that can be poisoned is Milotic, and I can run Flame Orb with that, and I can run Marvel Scale. And I have pretty good Defoggers as well, so like, I didn't feel that strongly about having a poison type. I probably should have taken Salazzle. Instead, I was going to take Lycanroc Dusk, but then somebody else took it. So I took stupid Lycanroc Midday form. It's so bad. It's so stupid. It's awful. I don't know why I took it. I literally, this was the tier 3 Mon. I didn't know what else I wanted. There was like nothing left. I could have taken like, I don't know, Aerodactyl. I should have taken Blastoise. I should have taken literally anything else because this Mon is garbage. But like, I don't know. I did the best I could. Maybe Ninetales would have been good. Wait, nobody took Roserade? Oh my god, I could have had Roserade. I should have taken Venomoth. I don't know. I took stupid friggin' Lycanroc and I regret it. I regret it a lot. It's just so bad. To be fair, I don't actually know that much about it, but it just looks stupid and I don't like it. That was a mistake. That's all I got to say about it. I don't want to use Lycanroc. It's on my team. I guess we've got it now. I didn't really want any tier 3 Pokemon. There wasn't anything that really felt great. I probably should have taken Salazzle. But, like, whatever. It's fine. I don't feel like I really needed that slot anyway. Next pick, tier 5. For some reason, they put Stoutland in tier 5. Don't know why. Can't explain that to you. But it's there, so I took Stoutland. Another Intimidating Pokemon. Really great Pokemon. I used it in the WBE. I think I brought it twice. It was really good both times that I brought it. It's just it can be really, I used it mainly as like an Intimidate bot. Bringing it in, Rocky Helmet or Leftovers, roaring stuff out. Just like as a good Pokemon to switch into, like Normal's a good defensive typing, obviously. It's okay defensive, like it only has one weakness, but no resistances other than Ghost, so like, it's fine. But there's a lot of Pokemon where like, there's a lot of really strong physical Pokemon in singles because Intimidate is less prevalent, like Choice Band Zygarde, for example, and there's not that much that really wants to switch into it. So having a Pokemon like Stoutland, who's just like a good physically defensive switch-in, can also be offensive with Sand Rush as well. I've got a couple Pokemon that benefit from Sand. I think Lycanroc also has Sand Rush, so definitely kind of a Sand theme here if I want to go with that in my final draft. If I want to draft Mega Tyranitar or Hippowdon or regular Tyranitar in my next draft, I can put that together pretty easily. But yeah, Stoutland's just like a good Pokemon. It doesn't have hazards, but I think it's a strong pick, and I like it a lot. So, yeah. Lastly, but not leastly, we have Hippopotas. I don't know, there was nothing in tier 5 I wanted, and like, Hippopotas lets me use Excadrill, Lycanroc, and Stoutland all with Sand Rush, so like, I don't really anticipate bringing it, but like, if for some reason there's a team that looks really weak to the Sand Boys, like, I definitely have that option, or at least, I could, I can at least use it to double Excadrill speed and like throw a Choice Band on there or something, and just like, destroy everything, right? If the team doesn't have like the right switch-ins for it, so yeah, Hippopotas, Stealth Rock, Slack Off, kind of bulky, I think. Not too bulky, but probably decent on the physical side. It's a ground type, which is always good to have. We've got 2 ground types on this draft. As with my last draft, actually, a tier 5 and a higher tier as well. So, don't really have that much to say about Hippopotas. This took way longer than I wanted it to. Oh my god, how do I always talk for so long? That's it. Team recap: Tornadus T, Charizard X, Ferrothorn, Excadrill, Milotic, Uxie, Hitmontop, Cofagrigus, Lycanroc, Stoutland, and Hippopotas. So, I think it's a solid team. I'm really excited to use it. There's like, I brought Charizard X, Ferrothorn, Milotic, Hitmontop, and Cofagrigus to regionals, or to a tournament. Sorry, I have 1 tournament with Charizard X, Milotic, Hitmontop, Cofagrigus, and I may have one with a Ferrothorn. I don't remember. I can't remember if I ever used Excadrill. I may have used it in 2013. I really can't remember. But Tornadus T is obviously a staple of my draft league team. Stoutland also is a Pokemon that I do feel like I've associated with myself. And actually, even Lycanroc is a Pokemon, as the Wolf Pokemon, I feel like is at least somewhat associated. Like, I won't really claim that, but like, I don't know. It's at least on brand. And also, I brought Hippowdon to Worlds in 2013. So Hippopotas, I would have taken Hippowdon if it was a draft league where I was able to, So I do like a lot of these Pokemon. I'm really excited to use this team. I'm really excited for Cofagrigus. I haven't used him in forever. There's just a lot of my favorites on this team. So only using it for 4 weeks. It should be interesting. I think it'll be good. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry this is going to be up late. I don't even know if this is going up after my first week, which I've already played. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thanks for supporting me. And thanks for supporting the league. And yeah, see you next time. Goodbye. He's not going to electric move, right? I think I want to use this opportunity to set rain.
Are you sure about that?
He stays in. Okay, so maybe this isn't Power Fire. He could also just Scald again. Like, that wouldn't be a bad move. Let's see.